Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Faster Way podcast, where we are going to do a Coach Confessional with the gorgeous, talented, passionate professional, Christie Thomas. Christie, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
And you came here all the way from Kansas City, is that correct?
Yep.
The Missouri, Kansas City, or the Kansas City?
You know about Kansas City when you ask that question. The Kansas side.
Ooh, the Kansas side.
Yes.
So do you care about the Chiefs?
Yes.
You do?
I do.
Even though they are actually in Missouri.
They are, but all of us Kansans love the Chiefs.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes lives in my parents' neighborhood.
No.
So he goes trick-or-treating at my parents' house, but they're always gone trick-or-treating with us.
Oh,
so
my gosh.
I told my mom, I said, next year I'll volunteer as tribute to pass out candy at your house.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So we are going to talk about hypothyroidism, which is your expertise, and you really niched down when you became a Faster Way to Fat Loss certified coach, and you, for months and months, maybe years, said, I'm specifically going to work with women who have hypothyroidism, in particular Hashimotos, I believe.
Yeah.
But before we dive in, share with us just a little bit about your personal journey with Hashimoto's.
So I was diagnosed with both Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism when I was 17 years old. Wow. So very young, very early. I honestly get messages all the time, honestly, from mothers with girls that are that young now. I feel like it's starting to become a younger and younger thing, which normally it's midlife when you're diagnosed around that time. So I remember, I grew up playing soccer. I was very active my whole life. I played 4 years of college soccer. I was just very, very active. And in high school, my junior year, I told my mom, I said, I feel like if I eat an apple, I'm going to gain 5 pounds. And I wasn't joking. I literally felt like that. I felt like everything stuck to me. I couldn't eat like what normal girls my age who are active all the time ate. And so she took me to her endocrinologist because she has both as well. And they quickly found through blood work that I had both.
Oof. And what were some of your other symptoms at that time?
Lots of fatigue.
Yep.
Lots of fatigue, inflammation. The weight was just the biggest thing. I wasn't overweight, but for everything that I did, and I ate pretty well, it's almost like I could feel like when you ate a donut, like I just felt like it would stick to me. So I was always kind of aware of that. But I would say that the weight gain and the fatigue were the biggest things. And then, some inflammation and things like that.
And when you're 17 years old, the last thing that you want is to be exhausted.
Yes.
And you were probably going so hard with soccer. I would imagine like school plus competitive and then looking toward college.
Yes.
So you were able to catch it young, which, it's tough, but it's also a privilege. I have a similar story. I was on blood pressure medication starting as a teenager and pre-diabetic, and then was able to go through a journey of healing my hormones and da-da-da-da-da. So what are some of the very first steps that you took all the way back then when you were 17?
I grew up kind of dieting. Like I did Weight Watchers. I did things like that with my mom. I was just always conscious of that. I didn't get educated by my doctor on the right nutrition to be implementing, the right workouts to be implementing. Obviously, soccer was my passion and I wasn't going to give that up, but I was never educated on that. So I just took my thyroid hormone, and that was what I did. Through college, that's what I did. Tried to kind of survive. Soccer went great, but I was tired. I was way more exhausted than everyone else was on my team. I remember that too. I was like, man, I'm the one always needing naps. No one else is. And so honestly, it really wasn't until I started Faster Way that I learned how to properly fuel my body appropriately to support my thyroid function.
Yeah.
To improve gut health, which is directly related to thyroid function, to increase energy levels. It wasn't until I had that education. I had always gone from quick fix diet to quick fix diet, even through, college, marriage, or got married young. It really, my journey towards nutrition and fitness in implementing that the right way didn't start until I was much along in my journey.
Yeah. And you do have some kiddos.
Yes.
You found Faster Way after delivering.
Yes.
Was it your second?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So tell us just a little bit about how you found Faster Way and then your journey as you started and what changed.
Yes. So I was living in Atlanta, and so I was watching some influencers talking about Faster Way. I watched for probably 2 years. before I was convinced that I was ready to get started. I was so tired of the diets not working for me that I was convinced that Faster Way was just going to be another one that would fail me, that I would just waste my money on. And so I held off on joining. I tried to kind of piece together every other approach, every piece of advice that I got, I just tried to kind of piece together on my own. And I finally got to the end of myself and I was like, I'm over it. I'm frustrated. I need help. I need guidance. I'm tired of doing this alone. I was struggling to lose the baby weight after my second, who was at that time 2.5, when I decided to sign up for a 6-week round. And within those first 6 weeks, I made more progress. I think I lost 14 inches and 8 pounds than I had years before trying on my own. It honestly felt like magic. And I'm not just saying, it really felt like magic because I was eating more. I was working out less, but I finally felt like I had food freedom. And I knew exactly what to be prioritizing to really shift things, to spike my metabolism. And again, like I said, really decrease that inflammation and improve gut health, which was directly tied to my thyroid.
Ooh, okay, if you're listening on the podcast and not watching on YouTube, I am like just grinning ear to ear. I think my face hurts from it because every single time I hear these success stories, it just brings me so much joy. And it's over and over and over and over again where people say, I tried it on my own, or I did this other thing. Maybe I did even multiple things. I wasn't able to see the scale move or my body composition change. My energy was just absolutely tanked. So in 6 weeks, you lost 14 inches.
Yes.
Eating more, exercising less. Let's sit there for a moment. Eating more and exercising less. No matter how many times I say it, if you're listening and you're not part of the Faster Way, you don't believe it. You're like, nah, that doesn't sound like it makes any sense. That doesn't pass the common sense test. But this is what we do at the Faster Way is we empower women to eat more of the right macros.
Right.
Exercise almost the minimum amount required in order to see results, and the fat starts melting off your body because we are maximizing and optimizing your metabolism. And you said previously, man, if I just ate an apple or looked at a donut, I would hold on to that weight. Yeah. Where in the Faster Way, you had the opposite effect. After 2.5 years of trying to lose weight, it's just like something unlocked. And I have so many clients with hypothyroidism and Hashimotos in particular that say like, there was just like this switch that flipped for me and it was just this unlock. Talk with me just a little bit about the specifics of the macros. Were you eating more carbohydrates? Were you eating more proteins? Were you eating more fats? Was it across the board? Had you been trying kind of a low carb diet previously? Like talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I had dabbled in really everything. I had tried keto. That was miserable and unsustainable. And honestly, I learned later on the worst thing for your thyroid because your thyroid needs glucose, which comes from carbs, to be able to function properly.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I was sabotaging myself without even realizing it. I was trying to do gluten and dairy free a bit on my own, but I felt deprived with that because I didn't know what foods to prioritize until the Faster Way. So obviously, we're focused on eating real whole foods, which are naturally gluten and dairy free, but I didn't know until joining the Faster Way what foods to prioritize, which led to so much food freedom. So I think that I was overeating in healthy fats, which I think a lot of women don't realize, right? Because they're so fearful of carbs. Yeah. They're overeating on healthy fats. I was under eating on protein. I had no idea how much protein to prioritize. Once I learned that, then I was able to stabilize blood sugar. I had less cravings throughout the day. I had more energy. And that's really when the fat starts to fall off as you're pairing that with the right strength workouts focused on progressive overload. And your metabolism starts to increase because you start to put more muscle on your frame. It's a cause and effect, right?
Right. So. And you were a D1 athlete?
Yes.
Kristi was a D1 athlete, okay? Since 17, you knew you had hypothyroidism, but yet no one at your college came alongside you and said, here's what you need to do, here's what you shouldn't do. Later today, I'm speaking to the athletes at my kids' school about nutrition, fitness, and a biblical perspective on body image. And it's going to be the best thing they've ever heard.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to blow their minds. It's going to change their lives. And it's funny because the cheerleading coach actually is the one who reached out to me. She's like, I know you're busy, da-da-da-da. I'm like, no, I am there. I am coming. I'm doing it. I'm handing out $10 Starbucks gift cards for everyone who shows up because this is going to change their life. And had I known what I know now when I was 17, had you known what you know now when you were 17, just imagine how much better college would have been.
Oh, I would have been a much better player.
Yes.
I mean, if I would have known how to fuel my body, I would have had more energy. I would have had more stamina. I wouldn't have felt so sluggish.
What school did you play for?
University of Memphis.
Oh, Memphis. Interesting. Yeah. So eating more protein, eating more carbohydrates, limiting your even healthy fats. Okay. I want you guys to hear that. That's really interesting. And then exercising the right amount has been key. Yes. We have a lot of ladies listening with suboptimal thyroid function. We have a lot of ladies listening who have Hashimoto's. Let's share a couple of your other tips and tricks, because I know you like to do the castor oil packets. You have some other routines that you do as well. So what are some of your other tips for ladies listening who have the suboptimal thyroid function?
Yeah, I would say that castor oil packs are great. They're great for your liver health, and your liver health is directly tied to your thyroid. So I try to do a castor oil pack as often as I can remember. You can do it, you can do it for an hour and just put it over and use, honestly, just your body heat.
Oh.
You don't have to necessarily, you can wear it in a sauna if you want. That's what I do. But you can use just your body heat, and that's okay. So I will do it overnight. If I remember, I'll do it for an hour. I'll try to do it at least 3 to 4 times a week. And then I do like to use my infrared sauna. I do. It's very helpful for your thyroid. It's very helpful for, your cells and all of that. So I do try to do that as often as I can remember, and that too, 3 to 4 times a week as well.
And I imagine on the nutrition side, you consistently recommend the gluten-free lifestyle to your clients, because specifically with Hashimoto's, having gluten, and would you say even dairy can be pretty detrimental?
Yeah, I would say gluten for sure. Yeah. I mean, gluten can increase those thyroid antibodies, which are markers of Hashimoto's. So the amazing part of that is that with Hashimoto's, you can affect it so much with the right nutrition and the right workouts that I've had, I've actually put my Hashimoto's into remission since Fast Away, because my antibodies have lowered so much.
Yep.
And I've had clients report the same thing. Oh my gosh, I've had a couple clients get off thyroid medication, and I've had many clients say my antibodies have lowered so much since implementing the Fast Away lifestyle, because it's implementing the right nutrition, but it's also implementing the right workouts so that you're not further stressing your body and your thyroid, which also increases antibodies. Yeah. So when you do everything right and kind of pair it together in our patient, the antibodies lower and you are less inflamed and you just feel better.
Yeah. Ooh, she used the P word though. She used the P word. So I'm aware, you're aware. It does take a little bit longer for clients with Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism to see results. Yes. It stinks. I hate to always say it, when my clients come in and they're like, I got XYZ. I'm like, okay, I need you to trust the process for a little bit longer than some of my other ladies. We just hosted a 5-day program called Belly Blast. We had many, almost 10,000 participants. We had so many success stories within 4 or 5 days, lots of weight loss reported, but my girls with hypothyroidism, guess what? It takes just a little bit longer to kind of start unlocking those results. So you said 14 inches in 6 weeks. It is possible, but it also, sometimes it's like, okay, girls, let's wait 12 weeks before we adjust. Let's give it just a little bit longer. And I am not a patient person myself.
So me neither. My husband told me all the time.
Yeah. Easier said than done. What are your favorite workouts?
My favorite workouts are our strength workouts.
Yay.
Yeah, I would say leg day is my ultimate favorite.
Same.
And then I would say total body.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. I love leg day. I love total body. There is a lot of buzz regarding women with suboptimal thyroid function and HIT. What I will say to everyone listening is our HIT, it's not that serious. I'm like, many times the research is pointing to the 60-minute Orange Theory workout 7 days a week, the fill in the blank at home workout that tends to be a little bit more kind of insane or intense. We are very specific about muscle building cardio. And what I often say for gals coming in, I'm like, if you have Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism, follow the modification.
Yes.
But we are doing muscle building cardio, and there is so much science to support HIT improving cardiovascular health in addition to burning visceral fat. So I don't want you guys to totally throw it out the window. What I would do is follow the modification, listen to your body, pick up the weights. If you don't hit every rep and set, it's not a big deal, but it's a 30-minute in and out workout. And honestly, there are some days where I am feeling a little bit more tired or depleted. You know, I've got 5 kids, and there's been particular times in my postpartum journey where I'm like, okay, I could tell my thyroid function isn't as optimal, but maybe a heavy strength training workout doesn't resonate with me that day. And I am like, let me just put on the HIIT, but not go as hard and not sweat as much. So I don't want you guys to throw away HIIT, specifically our HIIT, because I talk with Lee and Haven all the time. I'm like, it's not that serious. Like ours is not, we're not asking you to do a 90-minute or an 80-minute super intensive workout. We have very strategic rest times. We do muscle building cardio. We don't do a pure high intensity move twice in a row.
Right.
So I would definitely give it a chance if you haven't yet, or maybe you're starting to feel really good with the nutrition plan. You're eating enough. You are managing stress in your everyday life. And you say, okay, the strength training workouts are great. Let me give it a little bit extra challenge. Try it, see how you feel. Okay, try it, see how you feel. And then low intensity, steady state cardio. Everybody should go on walks. Everybody listening, if you are not going on a 20-minute walk every single day, I want you to start doing that. I think the vitamin D, the fresh air, the movement, so important.
So important. I talk to my clients all the time about going for walks, and that's what I love. Back to the HIIT workouts. That's what I love so much about our HIIT workouts is that we do have the modifications.
Yes.
It's not just one pro trainer leading it. So you can't, like, that gives so many great options for so many different women across the board with different health conditions and different challenges, that you can follow the one in the back doing the modifiers and still get a great workout in and build that muscle at the same time while getting your heart rate up a bit, but you're not overly taxing your body.
100%.
So it's a really great balance to be able to have that option.
As we close, I want to hear a little bit about your journey as a coach. So just share with us what the Faster Way certification and coach community means to you.
It means everything. I mean, it's been the best decision of my life. It's been such an incredible opportunity to live out my passion. I had been looking for some type of platform to be able to talk and share and help women with hypothyroidism before finding Faster Way. And because it changed my life so much as a client, it was such an easy decision to become a coach, because I just felt like I had this solution and this almost secret that I don't want to be a secret. I want to get out to as many women as I can. And that's what I've been able to do the past 4 years. And it's been life-changing, not only for me, but hopefully been able to really impact just thousands of women as well along the way. So.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. If you have hypothyroidism or a suboptimal thyroid function, Kristi is a great person to follow. Where can we find and follow you online?
I am on Instagram at christie.thomas.wellness.
christie.thomas.wellness.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
we
you,
appreciate
Amanda.
it.
Thank you.
Hope everyone has a great day. Bye.
Bye, guys.